So Ben, has the progress slowed down? Absolutely not. The progress is absolutely non-stop in this fish room. We got the awesome new 30-gallon biocube set up with 5 cichlids, 7 rosy barbs, and my mom's beautiful orange fantail goldfish. We also completely redid the silicone in the 15-gallon quarantine, got the quarantine all set up, so we no longer have fish in the 5-gallon. All the remaining ones that survived from the 5-gallon are now in here. And, of course, we are filling up the 150 after we re-siliconed all of the bottom area that was leaking when we first emptied this thing out about a week ago. So while the tank is filling up right now, it's filling up behind me, behind this tarp, I'm going to show you guys some footage on some other things that we've been working on the past week. For instance, the stand, we've had some big changes to that because obviously people recommended in the comments that we add some more stabilization to the 150-gallon stand because it's going to be holding like a ton of weight. Not a ton. I think we did the calculations, it was like 1,100 pounds of water, including the glass, so we really had to beef up the stand. So without further ado, let's take a look at. So you'll notice that we have this new layer of stabilization here. We now have a post right here, one in the middle, and one down at the end. They are all connected by this pipe. Not pipe, yeah. Great going, Ben. Connected by this beam here that goes across. They're all made out of 2x4s. We did some, star decking screws, so it's really good because it holds it all together. Originally, I did it myself, and I put it up into the plywood here, which my grandfather, who is quite the construction man, came over and told me that that would not be stable enough, so instead, we took the beams and put them right into the shelf itself, rather than the plywood that goes across the top. He said it would be a lot more sturdy. Now, I know people are going to have questions, why is there no more stabilization in the back than there was in the past? Well, there was never any in the past. I'm just being dumb saying things again. We're actually going to be working on the stand in the future. So then you're probably wondering, why am I filling up the tank as we speak if I'm going to be making changes to the back of the stand in the future? Well, it's because obviously since we had this 150-gallon leaking before when we first filled it up about a third of the way, I had to empty it all out, had to re-silicone all of the areas that had been leaking. Now I'm filling it up once again to only a third of the way. So we're not filling it up 100%, so obviously we're going to have some space for us to work with in case it's leaking again. I can just empty it and re-seal certain parts, though I'm pretty confident that that's not going to happen. If it does, we're not filling it up all the way so that we can put new supports in the back as the week goes on. Anyways, aside from the technical stuff, guys, while the tank fills up to a third of the way, I do want to show you guys the quarantine system. Obviously, like I said, it's all completely 100% resealed on all angles, not just certain parts like the 150-gallon is. Got the tank all heated now. I put some my freshwater salts in that I normally do. I got my already cycled sponge filter that came out of one of my guppy tanks in here so that I could get the quarantine fish out of the bucket and into this tank as fast as possible. As you guys know, we lost quite a few fish from the quarantine. Luckily, we saved all 5 red top cichlids. I know the glare is pretty bad here on the biocube, but that's just because it's a curved front to the tank. We saved all 5 of them. They are in excellent condition, as you can see. All 5 are in the biocube with the rosy barbs and the goldfish. We were unable to save any of the pearl gouramis. We had 2 of them. They all died. Well, not all. I'm saying all like there's a bunch of them. There's only 2, but they both died. So that was unfortunate. Of the 7 neon dwarf rainbows that I had, I lost 6 of them. 1 of them is still in here with the 3 Parkinsoni rainbows. 1 of the Parkinsonis died. I ended up getting it replaced at Central Mass Aquatics this past weekend, or yesterday, since we're still technically in the weekend. Parkinsonis, though, they look quite incredible. They look beautiful as always. The neon dwarf, when it was in the bucket there, I know that the screen's kind of blurry right now, but when the neon dwarf was in the bucket, the colors were kind of they weren't really showing on the neon dwarf. Now the yellow's starting to come out in the neon dwarf's tail. That means that it's a female rainbow. Otherwise, these are 3 adult male Parkinsonis. They still look just as stunning as when I first bought them. So the one in the front here looks like it's a little tattered, beaten up a little bit, probably from the cichlids since it was in such close quarters for such a long period of time. Only about 72 hours, but still with 5 cichlids that are quite territorial that can cause a little bit of a problem. They all still look pretty healthy, these remaining 4. And I'm hoping I'm going to leave them in this quarantine tank for about 2 weeks, and we'll see before we move them into the big 55. Alrighty guys, so overall, we got this baby filled up 1/4 of the way. First glance, it looks pretty good. Water testing for the first 20 minutes, I don't see any issues. So, just like we had a second video last week, we're going to have a second video this week on what the results of this test are. And we probably will even have a third video this week just because I'm starting to think that I want to do something like a Fun Friday. I don't know what you guys think. I'm just going to try it out. It's not that big of a deal if you guys don't really want to watch it. I know that most of my stuff I put into my Sunday videos, but Fun Friday is just all about doing some like really fun fishy stuff, like for instance the biocube. You guys weren't even expecting me to set this thing up because I told you I probably wouldn't have here. Then again, now that my mom's goldfish is in there, I ended up putting my cichlids in there with her goldfish and her rosy barbs. It looks incredible, and I had a blast doing it. So Fun Friday will probably be filled with tons of different things like that. For instance, Fun Friday might include rescaping the 55 when we move the arowana to the 150. So if those are the things you like, I recommend you subscribe to my channel because we got lots of awesome things coming in the future of this channel. Like this video if you want to see more, and without further ado, I will see you guys next Sunday. Peace.